Okay. Um, I have run into this bug in Capture One, and I'm making this video in hopes that other people who have the same problem that I have will have a way to fix it. Not just work around it, but actually fix it. There is a major issue in Capture One where when you use an old catalog with a new version of the software, I went from Capture One 11 to Capture One 23, and it upgraded my catalogs. Um, but the because I reinstalled Windows, all of the photos moved to a different folder location. I also decided to go in and restructure my folder structure, well, refactor my folder structure, and rename some stuff so that it would be, I don't know, a little more forward thinking or self explanatory in case somebody else ultimately started working with me. So before I had these in the F drive, it's the same hard drive. It's just it has a different label. So you can actually change the labels if you go to Disk Manager, and I would have to wait here, and eventually these drives would show up, and you can scroll down and pick a drive here, and you would right click and go to Manage Drives and Partitions or something like that. It'll show up here in just a second, and I'll show you. Um, but the point is that the drives are no longer the same, so they have this feature in here which does not work properly. That's supposed to be able to match the old records in the database to the new location, basically updating the entries in the database to reflect the change in folder path. And it doesn't work correctly. It looks like it does when you do it. It goes through all these files, and you see the number go down, and then this number down here goes up while it's doing it, and it's going through all the files, and it's moving them one by one over to this section down here. And oh, wait a second. Nope, it still doesn't show any images in here. Not sure why it's doing that. And all the files, they get attached appropriately. They get written to the database file in the new location. But um, what what this feature will not do, here I'll show you the feature. It would be like, since if the rest of the structure was the same, like pictures, photography. Notice the photography and library are different. Um, so I would have to go down here in this one and match the originals to the DCIM folder in order for this to work. But if these were identical, these three structures right here, and the only thing that changed was the drive letter, then I would be able to do this, go down here to locate, and go over to the base of the new drive drive name, and then I would click select folder, and it would automatically move. It would recursively check all of these and write the new locations to the database, which it does. But then it would also delete the old um, locations from the database. And when you do it initially, it looks like it actually works. Um, so we're gonna try it here. So we got DCIM, which correlates to the originals folder in my new folder structure. So I'm going to do that. Let's see if it does anything. Right. So it acts like it found everything, and then it goes away. Now, because this is after having done it one time, this structure down here exists now. But when I did it originally, this structure did not exist. It had to be created by this process, and the process took a lot longer, right? Because it's 13,000 photos. Um, but as you can see, it looks like it removed the old records from the database here, but it does not. And I'm going to show you what happens when I restart Capture One. I'm not going to back it up, even though I should sometime here. Let's restart capture one. Do 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 do. Okay, it's about finished loading, and as you can see, the F drive is back. I do not want you in here. You could say, oh well, you went through the locate process last time. Maybe you should just delete it. All right, well I'll delete it. I've tried deleting that one, that one, that one. I've tried deleting it at every stage in the process, or every level in the hierarchy, and it doesn't make a difference. So we're going to close the program. No, we don't want to back it up. Not right now. We're going to go back to opening capture one. And we're going to open it up. Give it a moment. And as you can see, it is back once again. Just like solo reconnecting only. We're back once a motherfucking again, guys. Alright. So as you can see, like the actual files are correctly associated in these folders, but these records don't seem to want to go anywhere. They don't want to do anything. So thankfully, I was on Twitter and somebody told me that the database system that they use is SQLite, which is a SQL database. It's a very simple one. It's not. It doesn't really have a server architecture to it, so it basically just lets the program look at a file, and that file is the database. And there's no complicated like server architecture that caches the data between it. So when you write the file, it should be written to the file. So obviously there's something in their deletion logic here that doesn't work properly. And as you'll see, this is a pervasive problem. It has been around for a long time, and I'll show you why. Okay, so I've already opened it up in this database browser for SQLite. You can see all of these entries here. It starts out here in the database structure, and I'm not like a pro with this tool or anything. I've barely used this database browser for SQLite, but after, I don't know, 5 minutes, something like that, of looking around in here, I looked at all these different ones. Capture Pilot. What is this? Z Collection. That doesn't look like anything I can use, right? So ultimately, I looked at all of these, and I found that all of the records for the uh, folder, or like for the folder locations, is stored in this path location place. But they have the root over on the left, and they have the rest of the path here. Okay, and you can ask yourself, well, if we've been looking at the F and the V drive, what is this L drive? Okay, well, the L drive is what I used many, many years ago. I don't even remember how many reinstalls of Windows ago it was. And for some reason, these records are still in here. And their description up here, path location, it could mean anything. These could be like, I don't know, a record of old locations for something that need to be kept for some reason. But as you'll see, when I edit these, it fixes this problem. So could I be doing something relatively dangerous? Possibly, but I don't think so. Because it looks like they've got all the information in here. I'm going to clear out the L. Scroll down. As you can see, it swaps over to F here. And it does, in fact, correlate. These entries correlate to the stuck entries that you see over in... Well, okay, let me filter by F. Stuck entries that you see over in the application. We're going to go back over here. F, Pictures Library, DCI. Wait, what? Well, that's different. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why it's not showing the subfolders anymore, but this is still here for some reason. I wonder if it would come back if I restarted the application one more time. It's worth a shot. Capture one. Okay. Get ready to be amazed by the inconsistency and go. Okay. F, pictures library, DCIM. Well, now all of a sudden it's just DCIM shown here. Strangely. All right. Go back over to this. Okay. F, pictures, library, DCIM 2006. It's got all these records. Don't know what they're here for. I don't need them. And the program certainly doesn't need them because they're all invalid. And I'm not sure how this set of records here correlates to this partial reproduction of that set of records right here in the tree. But really quickly here, I'm going to show you that I'm going to delete all these, and then they're all going to be fixed over in the view. I believe that having all these extra records also slows down the performance of Capture One. So why are they here? Like, I don't know what they're here for. I don't want them. They're just annoying. Now we've got all these V records down here. What are these V records doing? There aren't that many of them. There should be a lot more of them, right? 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2005 earlier. 2005 and earlier, 2013. This is supposed to be 2005 to 2013 catalog. All right. There may just not be that many folders in this catalog just because of the nature of what I was shooting at the time. Yeah, it doesn't look like there are that many records in some of these old ones. It's not a lot of folders. Not a lot of folders. All right. That one's kind of a lot of folders. But I think if I really got down and counted, it might be fairly similar to what is visible here. Pictures. 2008, 2009, 2010. Yeah, it looks like it's fairly similar. 2011, 2012, 2013. Okay. So these are all the ones we want to keep. Let's scroll back up. I'm going to filter by F instead. Whoops. Can't use the slash for some reason. It doesn't actually include slash as part of the value here, which is kind of strange. Same problem here. You can't search. You can't filter this field by pictures/library. You just have to like cherry pick the most significant. No, not most. The furthest token along here, the furthest folder along, and hope that you don't have any folders that are also named that. So, or any like further down folders that are also named that. Okay, so then we're gonna delete all the F ones. So you'll notice like this has some 2023 stuff in here. That is because this catalog, as well as several of my other catalogs, 2014 to 2018 and 2019 to present, these all came from the same base catalog. I had to split up the catalogs because Capture One does not perform well when you hit 20. I think it was 20,000 records in a single catalog. So these are split up by hand to keep Capture One from choking on its own, catalog size. When realistically, the catalogs should be, they should be using a real catalog or not a real SQL server, and the SQL server should be sharding the different sections in the catalog so that searching through the whole thing is faster, because there's just like an inherent limit in the size of the file, or there's an inherent performance penalty based on the size of the individual files, right? So they should have something that automatically does what I have just done here by hand. They should have that, but they don't. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. It seems like that would be a pretty important one to me. If I were their product manager or their product owner, I would be all over that. And none of them are. So, or they purportedly aren't because it hasn't come out yet across many years of uh, iterations in the software. All right, so yeah, basically all of these should not be the in the library. 2006. Las Vegas. Yeah. I hello. 2006/2008. 2008. Okay. Why would it be in 2006 before 2008? I don't understand that. I don't remember having anything arranged that way. 2008 skiing trip. Okay, these look familiar here. Where are you? Las Vegas, right? So over in Las Vegas, and these are obviously invalid paths. So as you can see, I'm fairly certain it is very safe to delete these. We're gonna go ahead and highlight them all. Delete. Why does it not exist in here? All right. Delete the current record. All right. And normally I would just hit the delete key, but I wanted to do that just so that you guys see what's going on. Okay, L drive is obviously all invalid records as well. I even have like a Lightroom catalog listed in here. So we're going to click delete on all these. Now it hasn't done anything yet. Basically, all it did was read the file and load the database into memory, into RAM. And all these changes have been committed to RAM. So I have to click write changes here to get it to fully commit them to the database. Now, can you do it while the database is open here in Capture One? Actually, yes, you can, but it will not update the view here until you close and reopen Capture One. So let's go ahead and do that. If you want to be ultra paranoid and safe, close Capture One first. No, we're not going to back it up because we have to load some changes here. All right, and as you can see over on the left, we no longer have the F drive showing. Hallelujah! All right, so that is the fix. If you use Capture One and you've had problems with their software, as I'm sure many of you have, if you're like a long-term customer who has upgraded a couple times and you have like a catalog that um, is misbehaving, then this will give you an opportunity to fix that without going to their support people. And I would heavily recommend contacting their support people anyway, because this is ridiculous having to sit here and hand hack their database file because they don't know how to write software properly. Um, this is inexcusable. I shouldn't be maintaining their software. I paid good money for this software and I expect it to work. Ah!